Okay. I think I finally got it figured out after like 15 years of just struggling right here. Let's see. Yes. Yes. We're live on YouTube for the first time. First time. Because Twitch wants to be, dumb. Um, so I guess with that being said, we done spent so much time, or I spent so much time trying to get this whole thing figured out. We just gonna dive straight into it. What's going on? What's good, YouTube? Uh, Welcome to the WarTidePodcast. Streaming every Monday. We might just start streaming on YouTube just because Twitch being the way it is. And it instantly uploads to YouTube, so I don't have to do anything extra. Um, I'm so discombobulated from everything I just did. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Can we hear you? Everything good?
It sound good.
Alrighty. One moment here. Please be patient with me. I'm very out of order after everything I just did. Okay, so
It sound good.
before we do anything else, I got to get the word of the day. Um, and today is First Timothy, verse 4, no, chapter 4, verse 12. Let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and purity. So basically, just saying here, doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter like any. There is no limit to spreading the word and leading by example in the word of God. Um, Young, old, black, white, Asian, Mexican, it doesn't matter. Um, there's no sinner or young little child. It doesn't matter who you are. You can always lead by example in the ways of Christ and the words of God. Um, so never feel like you aren't in a position to be able to lead because you can always lead. That's what God calls us to do, is to lead His people home. Bring them back uh, to where they belong. And yeah, that's all I have for that. So with that being said, we're gonna get straight into it. Auburn and Alabama basketball is going on. That's the main thing. Alabama won, I believe, against Mississippi State this past weekend. Beat
Oh
Hale State.
no, South Carolina. South
Was it
Carolina.
South Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they beat the Gamecocks this past weekend, and Auburn was not so fortunate. Dropped another game um, to Arkansas at Arkansas without our leading scorer, Keyshawn Hall. Um, I did not get to watch any of the Alabama game. Um, I don't know if you did. It was on Valentine's Day. Both of our games was on Valentine's Day. I got to listen to the Auburn game on the way home, so I know kind of what happened um, through most of the game. Um, so I don't personally know what happened in the Alabama game. I know they put belt to butt. That's all I know. Um, it just from looking at the score, it kind of looked like Alabama, got hot from three, stayed hot, and South Carolina just couldn't keep up. That's just the name of their game. So props to them. Um, I'm sure it was an excellent game. Like I said, didn't get to watch. Only game I really paid attention to at all was the Auburn game. It was Valentine's Day. Went out and spent way too much money um, with the wife. So if you want to speak a little bit on the Alabama game, go right ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good game for Alabama playing against not very good South Carolina team, and it's at home, so you should win. They did go out and win. It was LeBaron Fallon, Aiden Holloway doing what they do. Um, Aiden Holloway had 20. LeBaron Fallon had 19. Latrell Wrightsell coming off the bench had let's see, 19. So between those three alone, that was pretty much enough to win it. Um, Overall, good game for Alabama. They've played better. They've played a lot worse. I would say, even Alabama won by 14. I'd even say that's um, like the score looks closer than what it was. Alabama controlled the whole entire way outside of the first like 2 minutes, and then once they started hitting shots, it was over. Um, so overall, good game. Not a whole lot to speak on really. Just Bama doing Bama things. Like every other game. Like we already knew, every game from here on out is matchups and can they get hot from three. If they have a good matchup, they get hot from three. They can beat anybody. If not, they're gonna lose to anybody. It's just how it is. With Alabama basketball, they did go back into the top 25 this week. They are sitting at 25th, so barely sneaking in there. So getting, the ranking really doesn't matter a whole lot, but continue to build wins. We are still right there in the SEC picture. Definitely would need some help with teams losing. Probably not going to win the SEC regular season title, but overall, keep stacking wins, keep building momentum, get continuity, and get ready for March SEC tourney and then the NCAA tournament. Um, Overall, no complaints. Just keep winning games, get stacked and win. I think next game is against Arkansas. So that's a really big game. That's like a prove it game. Hey, they put you at the top 25 for a while. Arkansas stayed in the top 25 for a while. So this is where you can really say, no, like y'all messed up. We are still Alabama, and you do not put us out of the top 25. Like we are a top 25 team. So big game. That'll be the real test. Post Bidiaco, I guess you could say. Post all that. So yeah, really looking forward to how these guys play versus what is a really good Arkansas team.
Yeah, I can't do nothing but agree, just for the simple fact of I didn't get to watch. But like I said earlier, I'm sure it was a common Alabama W. They look the way that they always look in a win. Um, just hearing those three guys, put up about 20 each. Um, you got three guys putting up that many points. It's hard to win a college basketball game. It just is.
Yeah,
Most teams don't even score 60 in a game, and then those three guys almost put up 60 collectively. So
yeah,
you know, sounds like a good game all around from them. I don't want to give them credit, but in basketball it's a little bit different, a little less hate. I can respect a good basketball team a little bit more. Still don't like the guys. Still don't like them, but it's a little bit easier to just see them succeed and be okay with it and just kind of let it pass on by. Nate Oates is an outstanding coach, so I don't expect anything less from his team to go out and perform. Um, Speaking on the one game that I kept up with, listened to, um, Auburn lost 88-75 against a really good Arkansas team. Um, like the story of the game is number one, no Keyshawn Hall, and number two, you have a cuff going for 31 on 10 of 15 shooting. And then Billy Richmond III, a guy that averages 9.6 points per game, put up 25 points on 12 of 15 shooting. You just can't win a game like that with your leading scorer on the bench. And that's no shade to Stephen Pearl. I'll get into that in a minute. But if you want to win any basketball game with all of your guys, you can't let two guys have 25 plus points in a basketball game. You just can't let it happen. And on that efficiency. Arkansas as a whole shot 57% from the field, 38% from three. So they shot at a high efficiency rate. They made their free throws when it came down to it. 10 of 15, only missed 5, left 5 on the table. But, through and through, really, Arkansas just kind of, led and owned the game for the most part. There were a couple times where Auburn was within striking distance and had momentum. But every time that happened, it felt like a cuff would just go down and hit a tough shot, or Richmond III would get a breakaway steal and go dunk it. So really not too much to say. Tahad Pettiford has made his appearance finally. He's rocking this new headband look, headband Hod. He's been going crazy. So it's good. It's good to see. We haven't been winning. I think we're on a 4-game losing streak, so it's not resulting to wins. But I don't think that's necessarily all on him. I'm not blaming Tahad Pettiford. I'm just happy to see Tahad Pettiford finally get into that groove. He's letting the game come to him. He's slowing it down. He's distributing the ball. He's starting to look more like a point guard and less like a shooting guard slash scorer. Um, so very happy for him. Keyshawn Murphy with a career high 22 points. Also grabbing 12 rebounds. And those were really the only two guys that showed up offensively. Was Keyshawn Murphy and Tahad Pettiford. So they were really the only two that showed up. Our next highest score had 9 points. Elijah Freeman shot 3 for 10. So really not a good offensive night. We shot 41% from the field and 32% from three. So with that, being very inefficient, not having a whole lot of offensive production, and then allowing two guys with 25 plus points with your leading scorer sitting on the bench, it's just really hard to win a basketball game, especially when you're in that environment in Arkansas. So yeah, not too much to say on the game. Congratulations to Arkansas, good win. They're a really good team, a team that I think could make some real noise in the tournament. The only thing I really want to press note on is Keyshawn Hall. I've seen a lot of Auburn fans, complaining about, was it worth losing the game over? We could have really used our leading scorer out there tonight, yada, yada, yada. Yes, it was worth losing a game over. As a first-year head coach, you send a message. You're not gonna get one over on me. You're not bigger than the team. You're not bigger than the game. You're gonna do as I say. You're gonna walk in the ways of an Auburn Tiger. You're gonna hold up this standard that we have set for you. And if you do not do that, there will be punishment. And so I stand with Stephen Pearl's this through and through. 10 times out of 10. I'll never say that was a bad decision. And I think if you're an Auburn fan and you do feel like he made the wrong decision, let's just step back for a moment and think about, and I know probably you guys are tired of hearing it. Think about Nick Saban. Is he letting BS slide? No. And he's the greatest coach of all time for a reason. You think about guys like John Calipari, Coach K. You think about guys like Rick Pitino. You think about these highly touted head coach, even Bruce Pearl. You think about these highly touted head coach. They don't let this stuff slide. If you step out of line, or you do something against the grain, or you're not following, or you're not leading the way that you need to be leading, or you're not going in the ways of their teachings, there is punishment to be had. It doesn't matter your name. It doesn't matter what star recruit you were. It doesn't matter where you're projected to go overall in the draft. It doesn't matter how many points you're averaging. At the end of the day, these guys aren't only trying to win basketball games. They're trying to make these boys into great men. And it's just life, bro. I'm gonna stick with Stephen Pearl through and through. Everything he's done this year, outside of the win column, I've agreed with. I've liked a lot, whether it be coach speak, coach actions. Tahad even had punishment for a while. It is what it is, bro. It's a part of the game. He's a first year head coach. If he feels like he's doing the right thing, he's the head coach. I'm not. I'm a fan. So I think we should just all step back and respect the decisions of the head coach. I'm sure if it was big enough of an issue to sit a 20-point per game score on the bench, it deserved to happen. So let's just all take a chill pill. I understand we lost. That's okay. We obviously know we're not the best of the best right now. So taking one loss to prove a point to this kid, it's important. It's important for the foundation. It's important for right now, and it's important for the future. Um, so whatever happened, happened. Let's let it happen. Coach Pearl said this will go on as long as Keyshawn Hall wants it to. Um, so we'll see what comes about. Um, but let's just all settle down. Let the coach do what he needs to do. Um, and just trust in the process. It might not be the season that we want or the season that we're used to in basketball, um, but there's a new leader in town, so get over it. It'll be okay. One bad season, it's not even that bad of a season. One rough season, one bumpy season won't kill us. It's basketball. It's a little bit different from football, and times are changing anyways. And we got a first year head coach, so we'll be okay. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, look, I applaud Steve Pearl for sitting him. Look, let's be real. You're playing a really good Arkansas team. Um, you already beat him at home. It's really hard to beat a good team twice, especially then go to the other place and beat them. So I'm not saying you would have lost or would have won either way without him. The point is, it was gonna be tough regardless. Um, so him sitting out, like, it sucks, and I understand the frustration. I think proving a point and sending a message, for hopefully, if you're an Auburn fan, years down the road, um, I think is more important than maybe potentially winning this game. Auburn still has everything they want or could dream of in front of them. They're sitting at 14-11, 6 regular season games left. Um, I mean, and the next few games for them are all winnable games, and their toughest games are at home. Next up, got Mississippi State. Auburn should beat Mississippi State. Then you get Kentucky, but you're getting Kentucky at Auburn. All right, so that honestly should be a game that Auburn should win, or definitely can win. Then you get Oklahoma. Then you bring in Ole Miss. And then only 2 games left. Then you get LSU at home. That should be a win. And then you go to Alabama. So you have 6 games left. You're sitting at 14-11. I I easily see over those last 6 you winning 4 or 5 of those games, which puts you at the 18 or 19 win mark, which that alone instantly you're qualified for the tournament. You're going to be an 8 seed. And then a I mean, just look at, like, I look at the way the seeding works. When you're an 8 seed in the tournament, you win your first game against a 9 seed. You go play against the 1 seed after that. Hey, look, Auburn at times has played up to par to be able to beat a 1 seed caliber team. Just look at what they did to Florida not too long ago. And Florida's probably not going to be a 1 seed. So, like I said, everything that Auburn wants is still in front of them. They just have to finish out the rest of the season, win the games that they should win. They can drop a couple. They can lose to Kentucky. They can lose to Alabama. I know Auburn fans don't want to think about that and don't want that, but they can do that, get to 18 wins, and they will be just fine. You'll be an 8 or 9 seed, take care of the first game in the tournament, and then you get your shot to take down a team. And you could lose in the Sweet 16, but if in the second round you take down the 1 seed, I think this season, first season under Stephen Pearl, I think you're extremely happy, and that is still a very real possibility. Um, so yeah, 4 game losing streak, whatever, nothing to worry about. First year head coach, he'll learn. Hopefully not, but he probably will. Um, and yeah, I agree with you. I have absolutely no issues with how he handled the Keyshawn Hall situation. In fact, I think he handled it perfectly. So yeah, that's all I got to say. I didn't see the game, so I don't know exactly how it went, but 2 guys going off, missing your star player on the road, probably not gonna win too many of those kind of games. So it is what it is.
Right, I agree. You lose, it's rough, but like I made it clear last week. I'm not counting the wins and losses of the season. I mean, yes, I want my team to win. I'm not saying I want them to lose, but to me, this season isn't about winning every single game. This is a season for Steven Pearl to prove that he deserves to be the head coach. And so far, I can't speak for everybody, but to me, I think he deserves to be where he is. Like I said, some bumps, some bruises, some challenges. It's not perfect. I didn't say it was a Cinderella story or anything, all glimmer and shine. But from what I want out of my head coach, he's proven a lot, and he's shown a lot of potential, and shown that he has a lot of room to grow into an amazing head coach. So, like I said last week, who could care? Who could care about making the tournament? When I say that, I mean, guys, let's worry about this coming week. Let's stop stressing getting to the tournament and worry about, okay, Mississippi State Wednesday. What are we gonna do to prepare? What are we gonna look like? How is Stephen Pro gonna coach that game? Let's see that. That's what I care about. I don't care about making the tournament necessarily right now, because that's not, I don't think that's the objective of the Auburn Tigers this year. I mean, obviously, let me take a step back. From the team perspective, it is. But from the higher ups, from John Cohen's eyes, I don't think he's necessarily sweating if we make the tournament or not. I think he cares about what Stephen Pearl does this season, what he proves, what potential he shows, and did he make the right decision hiring Bruce Pearl's son. And I think that's the ultimate goal, and that's ultimately what we're trying to figure out so far this season. So just because we don't win every game, it's okay. We can't just sit there and cry about it and mope about it. We're not that spoiled. You know, you can be at the top of the top. Once you fall, you've fallen, and that's okay. But you have to be at the top to know what it feels like to fall. So just slow down. That's all I ask. Just slow down. We'll be alright. We'll get back up there. That's what basketball is about. That's what all sports are about. That's what's life about. You know, you get pushed down, so get back up. I know it's cliche, but that's what it's about, bro. That's what it's about. So it's a bumpy, rough start to the Stephen Pro era, but let's look at the rough start that Bruce had. You know, that's all I'm saying. So that's all I really have on Auburn basketball.
Do you think there's any like resentment? Obviously Bruce Pearl's love down there, but do you think there's any bit of resentment or anger, um, maybe very quietly from the fan base towards Bruce Pearl, maybe for waiting as long as he did to announce his retirement, so that way, I mean, since it was so late, like Steve Pearl didn't get to be the coach for like the transfer portal or to sign recruits. So do you think maybe in Auburn's fans' eyes, if Bruce Pearl had retired like soon after the Final Four, this season would look better because he would have had more time to prepare, more time to get maybe more of his kind of guys in? Do you think there's any like thought of that going in Auburn right now, even if it's just a little bit?
Are you speaking from like a fan base perspective?
Maybe a little bit of both, both
Um,
from an administrative side and a fan base.
Fan perspective, I'm in a lot of Auburn chats, and I haven't seen any I haven't really seen any of that talk. Maybe like once or twice, but I haven't seen a whole lot of that talk in any of the group chat. I'm in like 5 different Auburn group chats that give me a whole bunch of different information, um, and I haven't really seen that much. But from an administrative point of view and my point of view personally, yes, I believe there is that feeling. And I do personally think that Bruce didn't set his son up for complete success. Um, I would have wanted Steven to have that whole offseason to recruit his guys to get a team that he wanted. You know, and I'm sure he was in those conversations. I'm not saying he wasn't. Um, but there's a whole different setup when you are the main like when you are the head coach. It's a completely different ball game.
Oh, yeah.
So I do believe, in me personally, I would have liked it, that the administrators were kind of, like, well, you at least could have told us after the season. Um, but I also think, and this is no hate to Bruce Pearl, I also think Bruce did it in a sense of, my son's getting this job, and I'm not gonna let nobody else have it. Um, whether that's right or wrong, that's has nothing to do with me. But I truly think, that's what Bruce Pearl did. He made sure that his son was going to get that job. So, um, whether the administrators or I like it or not, I think it was purposefully planned, um, and he did it the way he wanted to do it. Um, but I don't have any like hatred or resentment towards it. I'm big on Stephen Pearl. I love Stephen Pearl. Um, and if that's what we had to do to get Stephen Pearl as a head coach, I'm okay with sacrificing a season.
Yeah, I have no idea what the intentions behind Bruce Pearl would retire when he did. I know we've kind of had this conversation before. I honestly, he could have retired the day after they lost to Florida. Um, and I still think Steven would have gotten the job. Because I definitely feel like there were talks before, um, because Bruce is old compared to other coaches per se. Um, he's definitely not young. He's not Nate Oates' age. Um, so there had to be a kind of a plan in place, and I firmly believe that that plan included Stephen Pearl to begin with. Um, so I don't know. Maybe Bruce kind of felt like that was going a different direction. Maybe that I have no idea. I'm not gonna put on my tinfoil hat. I know when Nick Saban retired, or before Nick Saban retired, Greg Byrne, Alabama's athletic director, had it was like a detailed report, minute by minute, the like what would take place for the next 3 weeks after Nick Saban retired. And so that way, as soon as Nick Saban told Greg he was retiring, boom, in motion. We already have a very short list of guys, so I imagine uh, Cohen had the exact same thing, a step-by-step plan. Maybe not quite as lucrative or whatever word you want to use as replacing Nick Saban, but I'm sure it was a very detailed plan as to what it would look like. Who would you look at? And I still imagine Steve Pearl would have gotten the job regardless. But I do think, yeah, had he gotten the whole offseason, this season I think would be looking better. I guess here could be another question you could pose. Does Tahad Pettiford decide to go to the draft if Steve Pearl retires right after the Final Four? Does Tahad come back to play solely for Stephen Pearl?
Yeah, that's a question I've thought about a lot. As if Tahad would play for Stephen Pearl, knowing, you know, but in that same breath, when Bruce retired, Tahad never showed any signs of, all right, I'm out of here. Um, that whole locker room kind of kept real solid, and there was no, I don't think anybody entered the portal in those 30 days, that they had. So maybe the draft, like, if anything, he's declaring for the draft, but I don't think he enters the transfer portal or anything. Um,
No, he would have gone to the draft. If he was leaving, he wasn't leaving Auburn to go to another school. I feel pretty confident in that.
some part of me feels like Tahad had to know something. Like, Bruce and Steven had to have shown some form of transparency of the entire situation somehow, some way. Um, because I have a hard time believing that had he had not known, that he wouldn't have been, the least bit bitter. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, and he showed no signs of that really. So in my head, I think he knew something. I think most of those guys knew something. I can't confirm nor deny it. Like, I have nothing to prove, but just the way everything went down after it was announced, like this entire team that Bruce had just recruited to come play at Auburn, that had never played in an Auburn jersey before, congratulating Bruce Pearl on this entire on this amazing career, and they were all so happy for him, and nobody showed any form of bitterness or anger, none of that. I feel like they knew. Um, when they were recruited here, they were at least told up front, "Hey, I'm thinking about retiring this offseason. How would you like to play for my son, Steven?" Maybe that. Who knows? Who knows? But just the way that the entire team acted, and you know, nobody really showed any signs of anger or bitterness. Something just, you know, let me know. And then you got to think about guys like Chad Baker Mazzara, um, you know, and other guys that hit the portal. Ja'Kai Howard. Um, there were a few of those guys that were Bruce's guys that did enter the portal. So maybe they knew from the jump. I don't really know. I don't really know.
Do we have any idea as to whether this was like a spur of the moment, like, no, I don't want to say spur of the moment because I have a feeling Bruce thought about it for a while, but do we have any idea as to whether or not like he kind of knew that he wasn't going to coach this season, or did he just like wake up one day and said, you know what, I got to start planning for this. I'm ready for to retire.
And that's the confusing part about it, is because after everything I just said, right? It just seems like it was also planned out. But the day that it happened, I watched like 1,000 different podcasts on it, and a lot of insiders said that they weren't expecting to announce this news today. So
Yeah.
it's a completely weird situation. It's not something that's seen very often. Um, Maybe it was just an insanely well kept secret between the
Yeah.
incoming team, Steven and Bruce. I don't really know, because the insiders and the guys that were close to Bruce said that they were completely shocked and didn't expect this news to come. But in that same breath, I just said all of these guys that just came to play for Bruce Pearl didn't show any signs of anger or bitterness and seemed like they knew it was coming. Um, only God knows the answer to that one. Really, um, it's such a weird and confusing situation that happened. There were so many questions, and I really never really got any answers um, after it happened.
Yeah, I think it was whether or not what Bruce was thinking, I have no idea, but I don't necessarily think the players like I just like in today's age of college sports, I just don't see that secret being able to be kept for more than a few days. So clearly, because remember the day that it happened, like Auburn released these videos on social media, like Stephen or Bruce Pearl passing on the ball. Like they had to film all that and everything. So I feel like the day that it got announced, like for sure, like it was a couple days before that like everybody around there, at least from an administrative side and probably a player side, had found out about it and they just all kept it really quiet for those two couple days. Um, I mean that's the interesting part, whether or not the players had any idea that that was even a possibility. And I think it is telling that none of them reacted any type of way. So, maybe I don't know. I don't even know. It's such a I would love to like years down the line somebody say, "No, here's actually like how it took place." Maybe they say, "No, actually Bruce just woke up that morning and decided he didn't want to coach anymore, so he went to the office and told them he was retiring. They announced it and that was that." Or maybe this was something that they've known for a while now and it's this whole like conspiracy deal. Who knows? It'd be neat to know that one day, but nonetheless, it is what it is. It has led us to this point in the season. Auburn not doing as well as um, I think Auburn fans would have hoped. But overall, um, given the crazy situation, as much as I hate to say it, I think Steve Pearl is doing a good job at Auburn up until this point.
Yeah, and then let's even look at a guy like Nate Oates, who has proven himself to be an outstanding head coach and one of the best in the SEC. Look at the season they're having. We're
Yeah.
right there toe and toe when you look at record and resume. Um, this is a proven guy. We're talking about Stephen Pearl, first year head coach, and resume and record are very on par with an Alabama team. Um, I still believe that Bruce Pearl himself would have struggled this year. Um, just considering all of the incoming players that have never played a singular minute with each other. Now, would he have gotten them straightened out a whole lot faster? Probably. But he's also been doing this for 40 something years. So um, uh, I just don't think there's too much to worry about. Um, and that's just the thing about Auburn fans. You know, once they get the tiniest taste of success, they just can't let it go. Um, but it's okay. I'm not worrying because I have full faith in Stephen Pearl and I believe he's the man for the job and I believe he'll turn it around. You know, you can't be great unless you allow your young guys to fail. Stephen Pearl's a young guy. He's a young head coach. He's got to fail every now and then to be able to get to the top. It comes with it. So, you know, a few bad plays, a few bad moments, a few rough games, it happens. So I just don't think there's too much to worry about, considering second hardest schedule in all of college basketball. Brand new team that never even played a singular minute with each other up until this season. First year head coach. It's just a lot on someone's plate. So very, very. I'm not happy or content, but I'm okay with where we are.
Yeah, look, I mean, like you said, second strength of schedule in the country. Um, I mean, and one thing you got to think about is, everybody talks about, okay, you're replacing Bruce Pearl, Stephen Pearl's moving up in that job. Well, somebody had to replace Steve Pearl. So either they brought in new staff or now they're short staffed compared to what they were planning on being, and that causes like more issues than what you would think. Like that's just tough because you get in such a groove, such a habit, and it takes a while for both the players and the coaches to figure that out. Um, so to have the second strength of schedule in the country, um, we were comparing to Alabama. I mean, Alabama uh, sitting at 18 wins, Auburn sitting at 14. So you're 4 games behind. Alabama's first in strength of schedule, Auburn's second. You lost by what, 4 to Alabama. Like all things considered, with all these things, like no, it's really not a bad year. You're really not too far off, I guess, kind of where you'd like to be. I imagine with Bruce Pearl, they Auburn would probably be right at the 17 or 18 win mark. So I think like just Bruce there without, the changing, um, it has the changing of the guard, so to speak, like the less distractions. Like this team would be better, and I think would be have a better record, but only by 3 or 4 games. So overall, not a big difference. And at the end of the day, I mean, what we think Auburn probably makes it to the round of 32, if that. Um, I imagine Bruce probably would have been in a very similar situation. Probably would have been out about the round of 32. Just like you said, team never played together ever. Not 1 minute has this team had any cohesive playing time together. So, um, yeah, I don't think anything to worry about. I think, just taking a team like Alabama, who has been incredibly consistent over the past few years, you only, 4 games behind them. You're right up there with their strength of schedule. You kept up with them when you played them. Like, all things considered, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna, and you're like, how Auburn fans are, man. You know how they are. They just gonna. By the way, there's still some fans that hate Alex Golesh, and he ain't even coached a game,
Hmm.
which is insane. So, but Alabama fans are the same way. There were people that hated Kalen DeBoer before he even coached a game. So, welcome to sports in Alabama. We take it unnecessarily serious sometimes, and don't think.
I mean, and like you said, we're only 4 games behind Alabama. I just want to go over this. let's go over 4 games. The 4 games we're behind Alabama. Let's go over 4 of them. We played number 1 Houston and lost by a singular point. If we hit our free throws, we win that ball game. All right, so that's 1. Let's go on to Georgia. We lost by 4 in overtime. You hit your free throws, you win that ball game. That's 2 games. Then we played Texas A&M at home. Heartbreaker. You lose by a millisecond, by a very confusing millisecond. That is still debatable to this day. That's 3. And then you lose to an Alabama team that was hitting unbelievably tough shots, no matter how good the defense was. So those are 4 games that easily could have went our way. They just didn't. So, it's 4 games back, and that might seem like a lot. I just don't think the season that Auburn's having and the season that Alabama are having is completely, and totally different. I think they're very similar teams in sense of what they're accomplishing. And I'm just using Alabama as a comparison to show that, look, Nate Oates is a proven guy. He's been in the Final Four. He knows what it takes to win. They're an extremely good team under Nate Oates, and even they can have bumpy seasons, and that's okay. It's just a part of the job. I mean, look at Calipari's last year with our first year with Arkansas. I mean, it wasn't bad by any means, but there were still bumps in the road. It just happens. So, and that was a very similar situation. Calipari is a legend, a Hall of Fame coach. And he had to build an entire new team that never played a minute with each other, and look at the bumps and bruises that they had last year. It's proven that it's just going to be a struggle sometimes. So, no, I'm not worrying. I'm not stressing. He's having an outstanding season. I just told you 4 games that could have went our way had we had hit our free throws, had there been 1 extra millisecond on the clock, had the other team not hit extremely tough shots. So sometimes it's your night, sometimes it's not. We could very easily be sitting with 18 wins without a doubt in our minds going to the tournament, and I still think we make the tournament.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think you made the tournament. I mean, just look, ironically, like I really like that you brought up Calipari, because I mean they were in 8 or 9 seed last year, and you see they made it to the Sweet 16. Only to lose to Texas Tech. Or did they make the Elite Eight? They might have made the Elite Eight. I can't remember.
I do not remember. I remember they beat St. John's, and then I think they lost the next round.
Okay, so then that'd be the Sweet 16. Either way, I mean that team, they just started clicking at the right time. Very doable for Auburn. You start clicking at the right time, you take down that 1 seed or that 2 seed, just depending on how you do the regular season. Like yeah, you're there. You can definitely change the narrative of this season over the next month. So that needs to be the goal for Auburn. Just change the narrative from a bumpy season to, okay, it was a bumpy season, but at the end they showed a lot of promise and got it together and proved that this isn't gonna stick. So that was actually really good. I'm glad you brought up Calipari. I didn't even think about that. This is eerily similar to how their season was kind of going last year. So we'll see.
Yeah, they did get eliminated in the Sweet 16. They were a number 10 seed, and this is something I didn't know. They started 0-5 in the SEC last year. Started 0-5, and they turned around and made it to the 10th seed in the tournament. So look, if that can happen to one of the greatest coaches in college basketball history, it's okay if it happens to Stephen Pearl, first-year head coach at a prestigious basketball school in Auburn University. It's okay, guys. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
This is a lot of Auburn basketball talk that I did not expect. So
this is that's honestly the most I guess the thing that has the most talk behind it right now.
Yeah. I mean, when you got a guy,
which is refreshing.
When you got a guy that is a first-year head coach and is just so happens to be the son of the greatest head coach in that school history, it's always going to be a talk of the town. And that's okay with me. That's okay with me. I want Stephen Pearl to feel this pressure and to defy the odds because I think he will.
His dad's tough, and so if he got anything his dad's got, he'll be tough too. That's for sure. Because Bruce is tough, man, tough as they get.
Gosh, I love Bruce. I miss him already. No offense to Steven. Yeah, like I said, I believe in you, but it'll never be the same. He could win a national
Now,
championship. It's not the same as Bruce, you know.
no, I mean, it's never like. I mean, there's still a lot of Alabama fans, older Alabama fans, that if you hear them talk about Bear Bryant and Nick Saban, you would think Bear Bryant was far and away better than Nick Saban. It's just um,
Kind of like them.
it's never the same.
It's kind of like them old heads when they talk about Jordan instead of LeBron. You know, it's just something about they don't want to let it go. You know. So.
Well, I mean, hey, look. Not more young people think Jordan's the GOAT than more old people think LeBron's the GOAT. So I have no
Because the
stats to
old
back that
heads
up.
are like
Just got feeling.
infesting the mind. Hey, that's all
I
I'm
think.
saying. Don't worry. My kid's gonna grow up knowing who the GOAT is. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying.
Well, okay. What you gonna do when your future son comes in and he wants some Jordans? Wow, okay, let's go get you some Jordans. And he's trying some on. He's putting them on. You're like, hey, you feel good? You feel good? Like, yeah, I feel like the GOAT. I got on the GOAT shoes right now. What are you doing?
I'm putting them shoes back on the shelf and we're walking out. Kid don't deserve no J's. I rock the J's, okay? I wear my Jordans and I still know who the greatest of all time is. So we gotta
Hey,
teach
maybe
that
by
kid
then
right
it's
from wrong before he gets rewards, you know?
maybe by then neither one of them are the GOAT. Maybe somebody else.
You're right. Nikola Jokic, Wemby, Luka, Shea. Who knows? Who knows?
Brandon Miller.
Woo. Okay.
Hey, he's playing good. Not that good, but he's playing good.
He's doing pretty
Hey,
solid over there in Charlotte.
maybe Cooper Flag comes to his lives up to that because hey, Coop's hooping too.
Coop is hooping.
Hoop's hooping.
An outstanding rookie season. One of the best. Before we say anything else,
Whenever.
I did want to mention before we got off of Auburn, Alabama. I saw the other day Lotzir Brooks got into a car accident. Just prayers for him and everyone involved. Never hope to see that. I saw that he posted a picture where he was in a neck brace, but it was only for caution. He quickly deleted it. Nothing came about of that picture, and I haven't heard much about it since. So I assume everything's going to be okay. I didn't hear anything too serious because, if anything serious happened to anybody in that situation, it would have blew up all over the internet. And I have not seen that. So, but still, just prayers for him and everybody involved and hope that he's okay. And Alabama doesn't have an excuse next year because Lotzir Brooks was, hurt.
No, that good. He is okay.
I think he is. Yeah.
He did delete that fast, but it was just a precaution. This is one of those situations. No news is good news. The fact that it's not plastered all over the internet is a good thing. So that's good to see. You never want to see, car accidents are terrible. Only thing I know is he seems to be okay. The neck brace was precaution, and the car accident was not his fault. So there's no potential repercussions for him recklessly driving. So he's not transferring to Georgia, which is really good news. But no, all jokes aside, he is okay. Seems like everybody else involved is also okay, which is really important. So, it's car accidents. It happens. And seems like no harm, no foul. He'll be back on the field. He might already be back on the practice field. Who knows? But we'll see. He'll be back soon enough. Like it never even happened.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that was said today.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But we were kind of easing on into the NBA talk, so now we have to talk about the most talked about thing going on in the NBA right now. Mr. who I said was overrated, Mr. Slim Reaper, Mr. Greatest Scorer of all time, Kevin Durant. Um, I'm sure if you keep up with anything
Oof.
social media, you saw his leaked messages. This is not the first time this has happened to Mr. KD. So it does not surprise me that it's happened again. But how do you go into that locker room after All Star break? After all of this has been leaked, like, what do you say? What do you do as a head coach? I mean, the trade deadline's over. You're stuck with this team. I mean, and I'm not saying this for Kevin Durant. I mean this for everybody involved. Like, especially the coaches. What do you do as a head coach? Um, just a crazy situation. Um, and look, this kind of just further pushes what I was talking about last week. This is one of the reasons I don't like Kevin Durant. Winners don't blame other people. Leaders don't blame other people. Um, and to me, being a great basketball player, being a leader and a winner goes into that. So it's to me, this hinders his conversation for where he is ranked all time. Only because, and some people don't believe in the whole off the court stuff. I do, because the man you are speaks just as loudly as the player you are. Um, and so doing these kind of things, it just seems unnecessary. It seems exhausting. It seems tiring. Like, at the end of the day, dude, what, you're 38? You're 30. How old are you, Kevin Durant? I don't know how old he is exactly, but he's
30,
about 38,
37, something like that. Yeah.
37. You're 37, dude. And you got a fake Twitter account whining and crying and blaming your teammates to some other fans and friends on social media. I mean, that's just so high school. Um, it's just, and I'm not trying to say he's a bad person, but it's just not what you want to see from a superstar in our league. It is really aggravating, really exhausting, really toxic. So you know, I just don't understand. It is what it is. Like, I'm not trying to make a huge deal out of it, because it's really not. I could care less. But like, what do you do from here? What are your next steps?
Is there any chance that it's just like not him, and is somebody just posing to be him?
I thought that at first, and then I got sent some like pretty good evidence that, yeah, this was him. And he's done it before. I don't
Yeah.
know. And you know the way he gets down on Twitter. I mean, look at what
Oh
he was
yeah.
saying in these messages, and then look at what he was saying in the messages that got leaked today when he was trolling that Kendrick fan. Um, very similar talk, very similar conversation. I don't think there's a world where it's not him. I really don't.
Yeah. I don't even know. It's kind of funny. Um, Mainly because this is not the first time this has happened. And what's even funnier is the man was, it's just what he was doing on his phone before the All Star game. I have no idea. But then, you throw to him, tweeting about Shams being on his phone on the bench and everything. Like, this whole situation is just hilarious. I mean, the NBA Twitter. I mean, this was an all-time day, man. You had the KD files, the Jordan files. Now that people with getting out the Curry files, man, I don't. It's crazy. I don't know. I remember like reading through stuff. I still don't believe that this is him, but like it's gotta be him. Like, it's like too many coincidences for it to not be him. I don't know. It's insane. It's insane how this conversation's gonna go with teammates. I have no idea. I imagine he's just gonna deny it to them. Um, because I don't necessarily think there's any hard evidence that this is him. All of it would be quote unquote circumstantial. which is good enough for me and you to believe it, but not good enough to where if he came out and said it's not him, you can't call his BS out on it because technically we don't know for sure. Um, unless, like X or Twitter or whatever comes out and exposes it, and they're not going to do that. So, I imagine he's just going to go deny it. Then he'll go drop 30, the smoothest 30 you done seen all year. Typical KD stuff, and then something else will happen, and we're all going to forget about it. Who knows? There's always drama in the NBA. Everybody's already forgotten about all the Giannis Antetokounmpo stuff over the past few days, just because daggum, we had Jordan digging up some kid's butt. We had KD calling his teammates the R word on on social media, and some old Steph Curry commercial, and all of a sudden everybody forgot about Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. So I don't even know. I don't even know. It was an interesting day yesterday.
It
I'm
was.
at work and I keep looking. I keep looking at my phone and like the wildest things keep popping up on it. So
It was
yeah,
it was a crazy day for sure. That it was indeed. Um, I don't really have much to say on it. I just thought that I'd bring it up that we were here.
no, yeah. One thing I would like to bring up though. Do you get to see any of the All Star festivities on Sunday?
And to be honest, I wasn't even interested, bro. I saw some
See, yeah, I was at
highlights.
work.
I saw some
At work.
highlights. I was enjoying my last day off where I had to go back in, and
Right.
watching these weirdly formatted All Star games wasn't in those plans. But it looked good. It looked good. Maybe I'll give it a try next year because it looked competitive. Um, Wemby was upset that they lost. There were a couple of game winners. Ant wanted to win, so there was
Kawhi
some.
wanted to win.
Yeah, Kawhi wanted to
All of a
win. There was
sudden,
some
all of a
fight.
sudden, Kawhi is healthy. I don't know how that worked out, but
Hey,
Kawhi been hooping
I
though.
want that
He's
Kawhi,
been hooping.
I want that Kawhi showcase to go um in the files for my hot take that I've made on the podcast on Kawhi Leonard
Oh
being
yeah, okay.
the greatest two-way to ever play the game.
Yeah, you could throw it in there. Look, I didn't see it, but everything I saw seemed like it was a plus because the All Star games have been crap.
Yeah.
And this was finally something that like people kind of got behind, and it's making me really excited for the next upcoming Olympics that ironically will be played in that same arena. Um, as far as like USA basketball, like the future, there's a lot of questions and stuff with like just because like how our youth basketball system with AAU, it's so garbage. But overall, like I really liked what I saw from our young players, like specifically the American young players. Obviously, the international players, like the best players in the game right now are all international. But man, like if there's any doubt that Ant Edwards is him and he's going to be around for a while and he is going to be the face of the future face of the league for like American born players, like it's going to be him. Um, and I think this All-Star game proved it. So I think it's good just to see a little bit of effort, some intensity, some desire to win. So I'm not going to complain about it. We've been needing this over the past about a decade now. So it was good to see. It was good to see. I didn't see it, but dunk contest was trash. 3-point contest next year is going to be fantastic. I don't know if you've seen
I
anything
have.
on that.
I have.
That's going to be great.
We
I'm
hope.
tuning into that. Yes, if nobody opts out. Um, I seriously think it's time to pack the bags up on the dunk contest, or at least find a new way to do it. Because I mean, I just saw Jackson Hayes just do a normal dunk. Like, he literally just went up and dunked it. Like, he didn't even do anything. He didn't even do anything. So, anyway, they got to find out a different way of doing it. But overall, All-Star weekend, I think was probably the best we've seen in the past few years, dare I say. So good for the NBA. Um, I did see. I don't know if you saw this, and I don't necessarily know if it's totally real or not. But Ant was talking, saying something about going back home or something, and like alluded to him possibly wanting to. play for the Hawks, got caught in a hot mic or something. Have you seen any of that?
I've not seen the clip, but I have seen like other pages quoting it and posting it. I would look
I
personally.
found, yeah.
I hate driving Atlanta. I would go watch Ant play. I would love to go watch Ant
Yes.
play.
Yes. I've been looking for a reason to be able to cheer for the Atlanta Hawks. That would be the reason. Boy, that would be so sick. So I think now if you're the Timberwolves, regardless if that's real or not, people are talking. That means you got to make sure you're putting a competent team around this man every single year and competing for a championship. Um, so I don't know how legit it is, but Ant loves Atlanta. There's a reason like all his Adidas ads are have all ties to Atlanta. Like everything this man does has ties to Atlanta. So I will not be surprised if one day he ends up back there, which I really hope. That'd
I
be
would love to see
so
it.
entertaining because Atlanta is a really big market for sports, just not properly tapped into. And if it gets properly tapped into, oh, it's gonna explode. It's gonna explode. Atlanta is a really good sports town that just hasn't really had the teams to support over recent years. I mean, we see how fans support the Braves around here, even though they haven't been good here in the past 30 years. So, you know, it is a really good sports town. But I don't know. We'll see. I think that is a really interesting thought, though. I will be at an Atlanta Hawks game here in about a month, so going to see them go play the Mavericks. So, Cooper, I'm cheering for Cooper Flag. No disrespect to the Hawks, but I'm a cheer for my guy Cooper Flag
Who are you
if he
supposed
plays.
to root for on the Hawks, anyways? At this point,
You know what though? Dalen Johnson, I actually like him.
Jalen Johnson's cool, but like, it's
Um,
just Jalen. Like,
but you're
am I
right.
cheering for Jalen Johnson or am I cheering for Cooper Flag?
Yeah. Or maybe
Most
I
other
wonder if
stars, I'm choosing the other star. Most.
yeah. Well, shoot. I mean, the Hawks is just a team of mid.
They are, and
I mean,
it is what it is, bro.
but hey, look, only up from here. Look, eh, I just forgot what I was gonna say.
I mean, they are in the middle of a complete and total reset, and we'll see where they go from here. Um, it,
They have some young pieces, like
yeah,
go all in on the rebuild, which is why they traded Trae Young to just say, all right, out with the old, time to restart.
and I don't think
But
Rich Say is that bad. I think he
no,
still has tons
no.
of potential. I've watched him a few times live. He has potential. He's not the best. I'm not saying he's going to be your star. I'm not going to say he's going to be a cornerstone, but he is a guy that could play really pivotal minutes. So I'm not
Hey,
out
you look,
on Rich Say yet.
yeah, no. Hey, look, also, I mean, you get lucky in the draft lottery this year, and I mean, you get lucky, you get one of these top 5 dudes, you're getting a guy. So hopefully that's the case. Do we have any idea if Kyrie Irving is going to come back this year at all?
I have no clue. I haven't seen anything about
Let's
it.
see.
If I was Kyrie, I wouldn't. I would
Yeah.
not.
And also, if you're the Mavericks, like, just keep losing games. Let Cooper Flag just ball. Keep losing games and get your third piece for next year in the draft.
Just
Get a young one.
imagine
Let's see.
they traded Luka Doncic for Cooper Flag and AJ DeBanza. Ah, ah, ah! What kind of sacrifice is that, bro? What are we doing? I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying in this hypothetical
Yeah.
world where this NBA is definitely, probably, most likely rigged in the at least slightest bits of ways, um, they just end up with AJ DeBanza or Darren Peterson or Cameron Booz or somebody
And yeah,
crazy.
I mean, they already have a wing in Cooper Flag, so like I could see like a Darren Peterson, getting a 2 guard.
Oh, Darren Peterson learning under Kyrie Irving would be
Yeah,
crazy. And then it's going to be
insane.
Darren Peterson and Cooper Flag. Yo, that would
Yeah.
be an insanely fun team to watch.
It's there. It's there. But Darren Peterson's probably gonna be the first overall pick. I don't think the Mavericks slide up that far. But
I don't know.
yeah, we'll see.
I
Anything can
still
happen.
think AJ's to be the number one pick, but I'm not that tapped into mock drafts right now. I usually wait till the season's over before I start watching all the mock drafts on the NBA.
It's pretty split. You see about half and half between AJ and um, Darren Peterson, and rightfully so. They're both studs. I think you're getting a good player. Whoever you get, like they're both going to be studs in the NBA.
Yeah, I think this is a really good draft class. Really strong draft class.
It's gonna be deep. It's gonna be a really good draft class. I mean, even you look like down like in the later first round, where like normally you don't see a whole lot of studs. Like you're gonna see guys like Isaiah Evans. You're gonna see guys like LeBaron Fadlan. You could see a Todd Pettifer. You could see I mean, Nate Ament is going to be like in the
Mm.
ladder of the lottery side. You're going to see, Braxton Berries. Like, there's going to be some dudes that are going to get picked in the late teens and 20s that are going to be around for a long time and put up good minutes and good stats. So it's going to be a really deep, at least first round. I don't know anything about the second round this year, but this first round is going to be deep.
You even got guys like Chad Baker Mazara, you know.
Nah,
Oh
I heard,
man. Oh
man, I
man.
heard a funeral home is
Ah,
not the funeral home, the
sorry.
retirement home, the place for old people, the
I had to throw it
nursing
in there, you
home.
know.
Yeah, maybe not, probably not.
No, I hope not. I really hope not.
Yeah, imagine drafting a guy to the NBA and he's already in his prime. Because like you start your prime at 27, he'd be 27 or about to turn 27, so he'd be entering his prime, entering the NBA, which is nuts.
Oh, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
Hey, he's making good money. He'll have money for the rest of his life if he's smart about it. Good for him, but it's time. It's time.
Um, I don't want to draw us away from the NBA, but I did have a question I meant to ask last week. So, do you have anything more on the NBA before I switch it up?
No, you're good.
Okay. So, I meant to ask this last week when we were talking about the Super Bowl. I know all that stuff was going on about bad money. We're not talking about the controversy. We don't get into controversy over here, okay, unless it's sports related. But with the whole Bad Bunny thing going on and everybody talking about the halftime performance, if you could choose one person that wasn't your favorite artist, who's your dream performer of the halftime show?
That's not my favorite artist.
Yeah, not like the clear and obvious favorite, because like I know who my obvious favorite would be, but
Yeah,
like
yours would be NBA Youngboy.
of course I would love to see YB get up there on that stage,
I would see. I mean,
dead or alive, by the way.
mine mine is Adele. I would love to see
I
Adele do the
would
halftime
love an
show.
Adele halftime show. Adele is
I
my
think
favorite
everybody
female
would love to
artist
see
of all
that.
time.
Man, I love Adele. Adele is my favorite artist, but if I had to pick someone else, honestly, I would love to see like a Bruno Mars do it again. Because when he did it, like he was still young and kind of fresh, and he's just released a new album, so I think seeing him doing it would be really cool. Because I mean, how can you dislike Bruno Mars? I mean, his music might not be your taste, but like he puts on good shows. Um, you dislike Bruno Mars?
No, 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 no. I was just raising my
Oh,
hand because I had something to admit.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
My mom didn't let me watch the Bruno Mars halftime show when he did it back in the day.
Man, I remember watching that. That was like one of the first halftime shows I remember.
I've
And it
never
was
seen it to
good.
this day, bro.
It'd be even better now with all the production and stuff that's gotten better now. Like he would be fantastic. Um, Other people that'd be really good. Hmm. I don't know. We've gotten so many good ones. Like obvious, like I mean, you could say Taylor Swift just because it would get so many views, but like I have no interest in watching that. With all due respect. Um, I mean, I would watch it, but I wouldn't necessarily
I
be.
probably wouldn't.
Um, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be ecstatic about getting to see that. I don't know. Who do you think outside of NBA YoungBoy? Who would you like to see?
Um, Me personally, unpopular opinion, I would love to see a Bob Marley halftime performance.
Ooh,
I love Bob Marley, personally. I really like, the reggae music. Um, how can it not make you, anything other than happy and joyful and upbeat your mood? Um, and I know I wouldn't like. I'm not getting a controversy, but with the whole message that Bad Bunny had, imagine if it was Bob Marley. That message would like
yeah.
skyrocket, because he's big on the whole love thing, and love one another, and we all being, as one. And like I said, I love Bob Marley's music. I would love to see Bob Marley perform.
That's a
Obviously, he
good one.
can't
That's a
do
good
that,
one.
but I think
Yeah,
that would be crazy fun.
yeah, yeah,
Also, Adele is up there for me. I love Adele.
yeah. It'd probably have to be Adele. I would love an Adele halftime show, man. I would be so happy. SZA, I think it'd be fun to see SZA get to do it. I'm a SZA fan, but I feel like she's done it before. Like she did it with Kendrick Lamar last
Yeah,
year,
she was a part
actually.
of it.
Yeah, but she wasn't the headline. So you know what? I could live with just her being part of it.
Um,
I don't know, but I feel like everybody that like should do it has done it outside of just a few.
I felt like
So
when they did it when they had New Orleans last year, they should have really done Lil Wayne. I really think it should have been a Lil Wayne
yeah,
halftime performance.
yeah.
Um,
But they're gonna follow the clout of everything that was going on with
Unfortunately,
Kendrick and everything.
but Lil Wayne though, that's
But
Lil Wayne.
that is his town. That is his town. It
Ah
was
man,
disappointing, and I wish at least Kendrick would have brought him out.
yeah, I thought
But
Kendrick was at least gonna
no,
bring him out. No,
it was the solo show just to diss Drake, of course. But I feel like Drake would have put on a really good halftime show a few years back.
Drake
Obviously,
Drake
right
would be
now,
cool.
yeah, obviously right now, I don't think that's happening. Maybe a couple years in the future, but right now, I think to go from Kendrick Lamar to Drake in a few years it's probably not happening.
I
But
think Chris Brown
we'll
would be
see.
fun.
People would love Chris Brown. He'd probably put on a good show too.
Probably not my pick. I'm not huge on Chris Brown.
No,
But he is a performer. He is a
not my
crazy
style of
good performer.
music, but um, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I'm not gonna say it's not my style of music. I just don't like his specific sound. There are different
yeah,
sounds in
yeah.
that style that I like. Um, and that's no diss to Chris Brown. He's one of the most talented people I've ever seen with my own two eyes. There's literally not a thing he can't do.
True, yeah. Um, hmm,
I don't know. There are a lot of
yeah,
artists and bands out there that will never be able to, but you wish you could have seen.
right, yeah.
I'm trying to think of
There's a ton.
other artists that I would just like absolutely love to see get on stage. Hmm. Me personally, I would love to see a J. Cole performance. I don't know if you're
Oh,
big on J. Cole. I love J. Cole.
I'm a big
Um,
fan. I'm a big fan of J. Cole.
so a J. Cole performance would be really cool as well. But I don't know. They did Kendrick, and I think J. Cole is better and has a better message than Kendrick. But at the same time, they only brought Kendrick because of all the hype. So I don't know if they would bring a guy like J. Cole. Um, who knows? Who knows?
J. Cole needs to go start a beef with somebody and win it. That's what he needs to do.
Well,
That's
he
that's
was
the
in
trick
the
to
beef.
get
He was in
halftime.
the beef
Yeah,
and said, "Nah, let me just go ahead and step out."
just hop on out of here. Business decision. And then now he's retiring, so
Um,
allegedly retiring.
my wife is demanding that I give her dream halftime performer. Um, and it would be either Creed, Nickelback, or Daughtry. She just wanted me to say
Okay.
that.
Hey,
Um, I would probably pass on all of those. I could go without, but Creed would be cool. Creed would be alright.
Creed would be really cool.
Creed would be alright.
Creed
Nickelback
would
and
be
Daughtry.
a cool like feature, like a good feature to have for somebody. Maybe not the headlining artist, but
I want them to do
getting
another
featured in one would
show
be cool.
where they have like, how they did like, Or they did like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and
Oh, Snoop.
50, and
Yeah.
they had all of those performers, and it was like 15,000 different people out on stage at the same
Yeah.
time. I would love to see that again, where they have multiple people headlining.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun.
No, yeah, I like those that they have. I don't like when it's just a solo show. Um, like I like to see more. Like when God, who was it? Like when Bruno did it, Red Hot Chili Peppers was there with him. But there was multiple people for the Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre one. Like that was cool. That was a cool halftime show.
That was okay in this dream world where we can choose the Super Bowl halftime performers. Give me the dream Super Bowl game final score and how it ends.
Okay, so if the Steelers played against who would they play against? I'm gonna say the Steelers versus the Green Bay Packers because it's the two like most historic franchises, or two of some of the most historic franchises. Obviously, Pittsburgh winning. Proud. Let's go a good game. Let's go 28 to 27. Let's just go a really good game coming down to the end. Maybe a game with a field goal. And Adele does a halftime show. I could die right then and I'd live a complete life if I got to see that.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of who I want to just lose so badly in the Super Bowl.
But they also have to make the Super Bowl, you know? So, like, you could say the Cowboys, but Cowboys fans will be so obnoxious that they even made it there.
Give me a Super Bowl 50 rematch where Cam Newton comes out on top on a game-winning drive where he throws a dot just like Ben Roethlisberger did against the Arizona Cardinals. Give me that. Give me that with a Bob Marley halftime show. I'm never watching the NFL again because I know it won't get more peak than that. I know it won't. So there's no point in me watching ever again.
No.
Well, let's take out Bob Marley. Give me a young boy halftime show in this hypothetical world. I promise you I'm never watching NFL again.
Young Boy X Bob Marley. Same time halftime show.
That would be crazy. I don't know how they'd make that work.
I don't know how that would work.
But they would make it work. I promise you that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of really talented people behind the halftime show, and they show out every year, so they'd figure it out. But yeah, Cam Newton, I'm not surprised he said that. Getting his ring, get the opportunity to be able to tie the number of rings Jalen Monroe has, would be cool to see from your perspective.
Man, wow. All those cheerleaders on the sideline got the same amount of rings as he does too. So, I can't even be too mad.
Did they get rings?
I'm sure. I know some of like a lot of those people in the organization get rings. So I don't know how that works.
I know that. Yeah, I know somebody in the Rams organization and he got a ring.
Like there are just some people who just like you're the janitor and they just felt like giving you the ring.
Yeah, they give. This dude lives in Birmingham, and he got a ring. So
That's
he's
crazy.
He's not even out there. He's not even out there, but he works for the organization. He's pretty high up.
Rings.
He's important-ish over there. So like that, he definitely was getting a ring. But yeah, they do like giving out rings. So I would not be surprised. So who knows? Maybe one of these teams next year will just gift Cam Newton a ring. Maybe so.
Nah, I don't want it. He doesn't want it either. I'm speaking for Cam Newton. He doesn't want it.
He probably doesn't. Knowing him, he doesn't. He would want to earn it.
Say what you want. He is a competitor.
I think he's content. I think he's pretty content. Like obviously, he would love for things to have gone differently, but overall, I think he's pretty content with how things have gone and everything. Where he's at right now, I guess I should say.
Who knows?
I think he's likes what he does.
I don't want to reminisce about my man. Hurts. It hurts.
What is up with these Auburn guys and just not getting rings between Charles Barkley and?
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. Derek Carr got one. That's all I'm saying.
Hey.
And who won last year? Eagles, I can't think of a
Jalen Hurts,
notable.
Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson.
Can't think of a notable Auburn player on that team last year.
I'm sure it was.
I'm sure there was, but I don't think
Not
they like
notable.
had
Not
any
notable.
play
But
time.
yeah. Yeah.
A lot of Georgias and Bammers on that team, I know.
Yep. That's why they were so good.
Yeah.
You combine like Nick Saban
Unfortunately.
and Kirby Smart. Yeah. That's what you get.
Hey, I just cared that Jalen Hurts got his.
Good for Jalen.
I am a Jalen fan.
Little
Ooh.
Bama alumni getting his little Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, one
So
of
good
the
for him.
only players to win a national championship and a Super Bowl. One of four, I believe. So say what you
Yeah,
want.
Devontae Smith is one of the like very few that have won a Heisman, a Super Bowl, and a national championship.
Elite company.
Um,
Elite company.
yes,
Can't
it
hate.
doesn't
I
happen
can't
often.
hate on Smitty. He's a good guy. Can't say
He does
I'm a
his thing.
fan, but he is a great guy.
You seen his eye drops commercial? He's got moist eyes. That's what he says. That's what his
Nah, I've
secret
not
is.
seen that.
Yep, that's what he says in a commercial. And if you see it in a commercial, it's real.
Yeah, especially with all those AI ads that we got during the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh, bro. Painful.
Totally took the
Painful.
joy out of it, man.
Super Bowl commercials are supposed to be like awesome. There was like one or two good ones in it. Everything else was AI. It was so frustrating to see.
I didn't even watch it for real. It's
See,
okay.
most of the time in the Super Bowl, I like watch the commercials. I did not this year. I just was on my phone during all the commercials. So because it was nothing good.
Yeah, it was pretty rough this year. Um, we're kind of running out of material for this week.
Yeah, not a whole lot been happening.
No, we're kind of in a dead zone right now. But we're gonna come up with more. It was a very short week, so we didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare. And then we both were busy on Valentine's Day, obviously, and Sunday you had work, and then Monday today. I'm sure. I don't know if you had work. I know I did.
I had work. I didn't have work today, but I had work yesterday.
So
Um,
yeah, very short week.
and it worked
So
Friday. Yeah.
not too much to talk about this time. But I'm fine with what we got to talk about. I don't have any more hypothetical, crazy questions, but unless you do.
No, no. I think I've said my 2 cents.
I guess with that being said, that is another episode of the WarTidePodcast wrapped up. We appreciate you whenever, wherever, and however you watch this episode. More to come. We're finally back on our regular schedule. So you know where to find us. Same time. Well, no, not same time. We'll probably be an hour earlier. I might just switch to YouTube for good if this turns out well. So same
Yeah.
time or no. Oh, gosh. Hour earlier next week. Probably same place. Next week Monday 7:15, probably going to be live on YouTube. Cuz I feel like this will make it a whole lot easier. But we appreciate you. Thank you for listening and watching. We're going to get on out of here. Get ready for our week. Gonna have more material for next week. Gonna get something figured out. You got anything left? Anything you want to say?
Appreciate y'all for sticking around. Anybody sticking around and stuff, through our little hiatus and stuff. So it's good to be back.
Oh yeah. Well, we appreciate y'all. We're gonna get on out of here and peace.